Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Quick reminder, this Saturday is the Open Silent Trailers production meeting. Go behind the scenes of our live game show, the greatest game show ever made. Get details and info at keithandthegirl.com/tickets before ticket sales close. Following that, again, this Saturday, we're all meeting on our YouTube channel to watch the premiere of Silent Trailers. Very excited. Go to our YouTube page under the profile Keith and the Girl, of course. Click the Remind Me button. Saturday's contestants include Chris Mancini, Mae Wilkerson, Dave Hill, Lori Kilmartin, and today's guest, the host of the podcast, Am I the Asshole, the fabulous comedian, Danny Vega.
What an intro. Thank you, Keith. I am fabulous now. I wore my nice shirt for you guys. I was like, let's see how this plays with.
What is that? What animal print is that?
It's sort of little leaves that my bougie ex bought me. And she's like, this is a nice shirt. Take care of it. And I do now. It's my most treasured shirt.
Oh, and then you just like a sponsor, you have to bring it up every time, right?
Right. Yeah. I need people to know this shirt costs more than all my other shirts put together.
Does it cost more than a TV? Because on camera, it looks like TV static.
I mean, these days, it looks like TV static.
Yeah. A lot of black and white next to each other. But that's your style. I like it. Chemda, big news. I have a little more info on my dad and the family obituaries. If you don't mind catching up, Danny, and anyone who needs it about these obituaries my dad wrote about himself and his sweet wife. I'd appreciate it.
I mean, you got to catch up with the saga at keithandthegirl.com/dad because it is just the best ever. But just for this segment of life with the Malleys, which is full of wonderment, for this one, because it sort of looks like the Malley mom is sick and going to maybe potentially pass, but he's always passing. It's time to get the obituaries in order. So he took it upon himself, the Malley dad, to write not just his, but his wife's. And I don't know which one of those is weirder. Both of them included
His is weirder, for the record. Writing your own obituary is weird.
You're right. We don't even need to take a poll. That is absolutely true. In these obituaries, he gives almost no information about his wife because I don't believe he knows her. But he does.
Right.
He does give her the title of princess in all sincerity because she married a man of God. He was a priest. She gets the title princess. So then from then on, he refers to her as princess.
Right.
Also,
and for the record, he's inventing that, lest there's any confusion about why you don't know more princess in your life if you know ex-priests. I don't know where he got this shit from.
Just for the record, we talked to journalists and it turns out that would not check out. Right. In his own obituary, he decided to include a quote from his children that they never said. And when he got pushback on it, he insisted. And that quote was,
he was our dad. What else needs to be said?
They couldn't even sign off on that.
That's part of an obituary. We won't even say he was our dad.
You're still hoping that there's some kind of DNA that would say otherwise. Right. So not even in his own obituary does he get to have that. So now there's been a back and forth about editing this piece, and he refuses to edit. Now, this is fantastic because he's going to be dead eventually. We think. We never know. But that's where we are, I think, as far as I know.
So my siblings, they make an obituary that won't make him or the family look like a bunch of idiots. And so my dad then writes back to say point by point why everything needs to be kept in as is. So my oldest sibling writes, the title about princess. That title for mom is something that I will not. Oh, excuse me. This is dad. They have the same name, so I get confused. My dad wrote, the title for mom being princess is something that I will not relent on. I will even be having it inscribed on our memorial stone.
And now he's doubling down. Doubling down.
Well, now it's on this tombstone, Princess Kathy Malley, which I guess you would see it and just think like, right? It's corny, but okay, you're a princess.
No,
but the obituary explaining why she's a princess is what's going to roll eyes.
No, if I saw it in a graveyard, I'd be like, she is a princess. That's incredible.
Right, which is funny. I'm from Somerset, Pennsylvania, the country, close to Pittsburgh, but in no way the city. No one in that town is going to go, oh, we had royalty here.
The Princess of Steel.
Right. So he one-upped it. Ready for this? I didn't know this was going to happen.
No, don't ask if we're ready. Nobody's ready for your father.
For myself, he says, I am using the term prince.
No.
Oh, Prince Aki.
So he didn't even admit at first that he was planning on using Prince. It's like, oh, you have a problem with Princess? I might as well tell you now. I'm gonna add Prince to it.
So why didn't he spring for King? Is there a little modesty to be detected there, or there's no way, right? I mean, that's not. He's not a good person who was like, I'm not a king. Clearly, let me step it down a notch.
Right. It's humility.
For myself, I am using the term prince, which I was taught by my father. He hated his father, by the way. I was taught he was a drunk. I was taught by my father was another title for a priest in Europe. These are not debatable points for me.
Okay, so his father said, you know what else?
Yeah.
You're a prince.
Go to bed, you fucking prince. He said it ironically. Here comes Miss America, the fucking prince. You said prince. Well, are you also a miss? Don't be ridiculous.
My father used to call my younger brother Muhammad because, it's the all great Muhammad because he was the favorite and he got the most lax, environment. And so if my mom would be like, no, give it to Michael, my father would be like, oh, Muhammad asked for something, Muhammad on a mountain. So my brother must think he's Muhammad.
Right. My brother Ken is the one who does daddy issues with me in your VIP package. If you also have VIP, you can go back and hear when Mark has been on. I know he was on with Spooky for one. That was hilarious when Spooky's like, you're gay. So when you look in a mirror, do you just want to beat off? Because you like men? So my brother
Spooky needed to know the difference between gay and narcissist.
Right. So anyway, this is Mark rating. The point is, you're not a priest in Europe. It's a free country, and I'm sure they will print whatever you'd like on the tombstone or obituary. We're just providing our 2 cents. And then let's see. Then he goes into it. At this point, oh no, this is Mark. At this point, I'm not sure why I'm bothering to respond as we're all just repeating ourselves. But the reason we're against it is because mom didn't set out to marry an active priest. She married a priest who she sought out. She was not known to her friends. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure this was Mark. But the reason we're against it is because mom didn't set out to marry an active priest. She married a priest who had sought out a dispensation to return to a normal life. She was not known to her friends and family as Pawnee or princess, a term many of us are hearing for the first time. That's all of us, by the way. That's a nice way of saying all of us. Many of us.
Mm-hmm.
If you called her that in secret, which he didn't, never mind, treated her like one, and in private, I'm unsure why you think it belongs on a headstone or in an obituary. She did not live the life of a wife of a parish priest. She did not help out with matters of parish life. Just because your father taught you that a prince was another title for a priest does not make it appropriate to put in print. Generally speaking, though there's no hard or fast rule, titles and honorifics do not belong on a grave marker as part of a person's name. How you came into this world is how you go out of it. If I had a grave marker, it would not read that I got a doctorate. Ken's would not read Deacon Kenneth Malley. Put you were a king on it for all we care. Just realize that while your intent is for people to read it and feel a bit of respect, folks will just get a good laugh at your expense.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they're learning. They're waking up.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. All 5 of us worked on making your obituaries as polished as possible, but we can't save you from yourself. No one is going to see Prince or Princess on a gravestone or an obituary and think that royalty lived in Somerset. And no one will read an explanation of why those titles exist and think, how wonderful. They'll read it and think the person who wrote it was nuts.
Wow. Go, Mark. It was so clear. How did he make these children?
Right.
How?
From our vantage point, it seems that you're picking and choosing events in your life to make your tombstone obituary seem impressive. But these things are impressive only to you. You want to put Prince because your dad mentioned it was used elsewhere in a place you've probably never been. Similar to above, your family and friends do not refer to you as Father, Reverend, or Prince. You want to put Reverend because you were thinking about becoming an active Orthodox priest, though you didn't, and don't identify as belonging to the Orthodox Church. You were an active priest for less than 2 years. It is odd that you had another 55 years of life, but focus on this short period of time. Obviously, it was meaningful for you, but everything needs to be put into proper context. We're not missing the point. We just don't agree with it.
Wow. He used logic.
Yeah.
Just, by the way, here's some clarity. Did your father write back?
Yes. No, of course he didn't. I will explain to him. My idiot doctor brother doesn't understand nuance.
Holy shit. What could be said? Where's the white flag?
Right.
He won't stop.
What I like is that, I had a sibling that was like, man, this whole thing is just sad. And I said, well, you're young, you'll grow up into it. Don't worry. Everybody's like, he keeps pushing it at the end. His goal is to confuse us so that when he dies, we go, maybe he was a great man and he was a prince and he was hard on us, but wanted us to do well. That's what he's hoping for. But he keeps pushing it in such weird ways to make you feel stupid. Gaslight's the word, that everybody's waking up to him. And the last final moments in the scheme of things, you can't stop.
Keith, what's it like? Are you the only person, you and your siblings, the only person who could relate to this? Danny, was your upbringing anything like this?
No, my parents are still together and we love our dad and mom.
And you could just say that. You're not like writing an obituary.
No, it's real. I feel like I'm flaunting it now, but yeah, it's rather boring. Nice. Our house was really boring.
We're going to Thanksgiving coming up. Really? How does that work? Do you throw the food? Do you eat it? So my dad wrote, I regret that I have done a poor job of communicating my intentions of using those titles. No, you didn't. You explained it as much as you can explain this bullshit. Your dad said it to you once that priest is prince. He was probably slurring. You're going to be impressed. What did you say, Prince? I don't fucking know. Go to bed. I regret that I've done a poor job. I could care little what others think about anything from that monument stone other than the words from sacred scripture. Well, that's not true. So he's acting like, I don't care what people think if I'm crazy saying I was a prince. I was.
Right.
That's not true.
If you don't care, then get rid of the prince. Right. I don't understand.
All other info is to honor your mom directly or indirectly. Well, very indirectly because she's a princess. Because you're switching the things. We're talking about
Well, I feel like sometimes people just want to fill in words that make them sound like they're thinking directly or indirectly. What are you talking about?
Right. You're saying you were a priest, so she got to be a princess. That's also about you, not even about her. She didn't do anything to be a princess, just smart enough and wise enough to marry you. She'll know what I put on it and why from her lofty position in heaven. So does he believe in heaven? Because he knows this is bullshit. This isn't true. And mom would roll her eyes at him and he knows that. So he's lying about her position in heaven.
Does he ever
looking down and nodding? Mm-hmm.
Does he ever speak in truth? Like, this is so perfect.
When your mother was first going with your father, that's him.
Ew.
In caps, by the way. She did presume that she would be marrying a priest who would somehow be permitted to remain active in the priesthood.
Because your mother is ignorant of Catholicism?
Right. We know there's a whole story that you had to get out of it. And you pretend the Pope personally said you can get out of it. She did not get that impression from me, but clearly had it on her own. Okay, the end of that sentence. She didn't get it from me that I'd still be. She got it from her own.
Yeah.
And therefore she was, how'd she get it on her own? I don't know. Your mother, I don't know.
Yikes.
When your mother was first going with your, let's see, blah, blah, blah. The title was confirmed by the patriarch before I became active in his jurisdiction and not as a condition of becoming active. Who knows? I don't know. He personally told me that no human power has the right to try to take away that title away from an ordained priest. I guess the title of prince, but it's embarrassing to rewrite the word again.
But it's the same human power that gave you your priestly duties. The same human power took it away.
Furthermore, reverend is put on the memorial stone of a priest and deacon is put on the memorial stone of a deacon, as is the date of the last of those events. The title for mom belongs on the headstone, not because I called her that in secret, but because that is her title, being married to a Byzantine priest. We get it. As much as we can get it, we get it. Furthermore, it is drummed into our heads in the seminary and repeated at our ordination. Thou art a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek.
I can't. I honestly, I'm just like, wait, why anymore? Do you guys think that you should just make a pact that nobody responds to him anymore?
They won't be able to help it. And, they think they don't want their family to look like an idiot on a gravestone or an obituary. They just don't. Some people care. I give a fuck, right? Okay. I hope you're right, Prince and Prince. Fuck it.
How does it work? Because I thought you have to die. I mean, how does getting an obituary published? You just submit that? He's like, well, I fired it off early. I'm ready for the credit now. Let's see what the response is.
We could always change his, but the kids are like, how do we change mom's and then deal with him?
Gosh.
I still, by the way, in the army, they didn't even tell me I'm a soldier forever. They told him, why would you tell a priest that? Don't worry. If you quit, which is the fucking worst, you're still a priest. Just so you know, Melchizedek. Okay. I still retain full powers. Now listen to this. I still retain full powers to consecrate. That means make Jesus, shove him in that bread. Full powers to consecrate. So you can eat Jesus and he can give you communion and confession. He could do that. He could have made the bread Jesus anytime he wanted to at home. I wonder if he did sometimes.
It's so funny for a grown adult to say, I still have the power. And all I could think of is Sonic boom.
Yeah. My dad would be like, don't play with your food. I'm like, who gives a fuck? I'm going to be in a CEO meeting playing with my food. But I was probably playing with Jesus, fucking around. And I didn't know it. I still retain full powers to consecrate and administer all the sacraments, including ordaining a person to the holy priesthood. He could make priests.
He's going to make you a priest.
So my brother was being a deacon, then some kind of politics where he admitted that in the past he had doubts about it, really fucked him becoming a priest. My dad could have made him a priest. Now, obviously, he couldn't. There's paperwork involved in people. But this is the dumbest thing I ever fucking heard. But why don't you make us all priests? He told me 1,000,000 times, your personality, you'd be a great priest. Make me one. He should go, hey, happy birthday. You're a priest now. Do what you want, but just so you know. And congrats, by the way, because you're also a prince.
Keith, with great power comes great responsibility. Maybe that's why you don't have that responsibility, because that's what you would do with it.
The theoretical condition that I would still be a priest and do all these things. Emergency. The reality, since no one knows when death will occur to anyone, every point in time can legitimately be viewed as a time of emergency. That's why he's a priest. He's got to be ready. So he's always amped up.
Okay, if your dad made all of you guys priests and priestesses, then I would be like, okay, that's some prince shit. Like, that's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah. There's no way we're any of that, but somehow he is. Yeah. No, I'm going with Highness from now on. Now, I read in, the prince, when it comes to royalty, the boys are called princes even after that, but I don't want to confuse the situation. I'm simply going with Your Highness Keith Malley. If you're a friend of mine, Your Highness Keith is just fine. Yes, we were taught that also in the seminary. Check my email on my best friend's offer to me on the day of his ordination in the priesthood. Yeah,
wait. Did he say he had a friend in that sentence?
He said he had a friend then. He doesn't have any friends. This is a lie. But I mean, list a friend again, It's in an email. You just trust me. You've read it and you agree. But he said he was going to leave the priesthood, and somebody in the church said, if you don't, I'll give you your own church to run. And he said, thank you for the offer, but I am going to marry this woman. Okay. Very good. You may be brilliant, Dr. Mark, but you are out of your element on this matter. You just don't get it. As to whether you want doctor put on yours or not is not for me to say. I told you folks from the beginning that I value your input on the rating of the obits, but that I will have final say as to what I keep, discard, or change. I hope that no animosity is created by my decisions on this matter, which I am beginning to sense. We got a regular Deanna Troy over here. He's beginning to sense. They called you a fucking idiot. I'm beginning to sense. I think you're upset. I think you're upset, Captain.
I'm so excited to know who Deanna Troy is.
Of course. That was for you.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. So even the singer Prince is like, what the fuck? My brother Mark is thinking, like he said, I might make my final reply something like, it's clear you're going senile and logical conversations are no longer possible. I said to add, Keith believes in you and thinks you're still the same person. So we'll see what happens.
That's perfect.
Yeah. He goes, he said that quote that you mentioned, hey, I'm your, he is dad. And that's all you need to say. And he goes, well, we're not going to say that. And my dad said, can one of you say it? And they go, no.
Oh my God.
This is how you're going out, you little fucking trickster. You can't help it.
I like that it's becoming clearer to your siblings because after a person passes, you do start sort of clearing away the miscellaneous. And this is just kind of getting it deeper and deeper.
I'm pushing it in these family texts without, just the siblings, meaning last time that we all hung out together, I'm making jokes about how we were raised and all this. And you can feel like energy from one, like you're really being rude. Mom's in a hospital, and I'm really talking about my dad, but mom's in a hospital, dad's dealing with it. And that wasn't too long ago. Now I'm making those same types of jokes in chat. Everybody's on board. And it's because of these beautiful obituaries.
Whoa, you finally converted everybody, just like your father always wanted, but the opposite.
I want to go, here, Dad, have a Munk Pack. And he's like, wait, I'm not a prince. That's the thing with being hungry. It messes with your whole mind. Munk Pack keto nut and seed bars is what you want to get for yourself. Munk Pack granola bars is when you get, and you're going to turn into something like this. You've seen those Snickers commercials, but these bars contain 1 gram of sugar or less, 2 to 3 grams of net carbs, and they're only 150 calories. Great if you follow a keto lifestyle, or otherwise, it's the perfect snack for anyone who's trying to eat better or cut back on sugar or carbs. It's that simple.
Now be careful. If your father has this, he's going to call himself a monk on his tombstone.
Yes. By my friends at PAC. I'm sorry, but you can't change my mind on that one, doctor. They're perfect for a quick snack to satisfy your sweet tooth without guilt. Enjoy Munk Pack as a quick breakfast while running errands, after a workout,
in between podcast recordings.
Absolutely. The bars are also gluten-free, plant-based, non-GMO, no soy, no trans fat, sugar, alcohols, no thanks. Artificial colors, not here. Try it for yourself and you'll see. And we have a special deal for you. Get 20% off your first purchase of any Munk Pack product by visiting monkpack.com and enter code KATG at checkout. Munk Pack is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't like it for any reason, including the name, they'll exchange the product or refund your money, whichever you prefer. To get started, just go to monkpack.com. That's MUNKPACK.com. Select any product, enter the code KTG at checkout, and save 20% off your purchase, okay? Delicious, nutritious food that you can count on, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast.
Yeah, eat one before you hit send on that email.
Yes, absolutely correct. I'm thinking, will Somerset, Pennsylvania believe there is royalty in their in the? I mean, this
they
town
will
of
if
mine,
they don't eat their Munk Packs.
Oh, I knew it was like a trashy town, but I didn't know we had a. This popped up on my Facebook. Somebody from Somerset, Tiffany. And she posted a picture that said Biden wasn't elected. He was installed, like a toilet. And I don't want to jump to conclusions. I'm like, maybe it's just a funny joke. I don't know if this Biden has Alzheimer's or something. Maybe you're not saying Trump's your president. What do I know? So I click on her name because I got to see this person I went to high school with. What's her thoughts? Under her name, #Patriot. And I'm like, yeah, now I'm pretty sure, right? Am I still, maybe I'm making it up still. Then I look at her banner. Beware of the third wave of propaganda and a new strain of bullshit. Oof. I'm like, oh, is this the town? Then I look at what's under there, and it's everybody in my high school grade. Norm going, that's awesome. Crystal going, yes, 100. Crystal was my first love in the whole world. Norm, Tiffany wouldn't have given you the time of fucking day in school. She was hot as shit. We were people. They'll let you talk to her now because you said, hey, awesome. And these weren't stupid people in high school. I didn't think. I guess how much do you have to know in high school? But what are you doing? I mean, they all check. You don't have a good mind because all of you got so much face work. You act like you're down to earth, blue collar people. Somebody came in that town and tricked all of you, and you look like Meg Ryan now. And it's so obvious and weird. Don't act like you know anything in life. Stop it.
It's so weird how much your friends, non-friends from high school are on Facebook, and still I don't run into that as much as you do. And you had hundreds of people less in your high school. Danny, do you come across your high school people on Facebook?
I do. I've had some charming interactions. I'm featured in ads for my company, and this guy I knew from high school just messaged me a screen cap of the ad. You know, it runs before YouTube videos, and he goes, "Why have you become what I hate?" And I said, haha, like clearly, all right. Haha, well, how are you? And then he just never responded. And I was like, great, cool. That's really cool. Good to hear from you, man.
Eat a Munk Pack. You know, my God, You didn't have to rate that in the first place, that guy. Oh, my. I mean, you know, we've talked about the vaccine plenty, but I just saw the headline of the newspaper today. Vaccine fool's gold. Hospital and nurse home workers. So they come to your house, paid for fake inoculation cards. So you've heard about this. People doing fake cards. But these are nurses and doctors that come to your house to take care of you. And they bought a fake card. They paid for a fake card. Never mind, the real vaccine is free. And they pay you now. But you paid for a fake. I saw a woman in Hawaii got arrested because she made up her own card. She spelled Moderna wrong. Lord, I tweeted this out, but this woman wrote, unpopular opinion. This was in December of last year. I'd rather get COVID than get the COVID vaccine. This was just now. In the ER with COVID and pneumonia. Please pray for me if you have a moment. Tear face.
Pray that you die from it, right?
I have to assume pray that I don't die from it.
No, because earlier she said she'd rather die.
Right.
And
pray and thank God for listening to us.
I mean, yeah, don't tell God what to do now.
Right. Mike Lawrence wrote, my dad works at a hospital in Florida and told me they're having to get the additional refrigeration units because the morgues are too full. There are literally too many anti-vaxxers dying on the same hill.
Holy shit.
Speaking of Florida, this is from, I'm going to play a clip here. This is from a Florida school board meeting, Lee County specifically.
I'm going to tell you that your time is up. The people of the state and this district are rising up, and you have awakened a sleeping beast. Maybe the reason why.
Now, first of all, it's a compilation, so this is a new woman coming in. But keep in mind also, they wrote all these down. This is on their phone, or their, or they printed it out on paper and they're reading it. Like they felt good. You've awakened a sleeping beast. Oh, that'll go well.
Why we have people in the hospitals, all this mask wearing. Did we ever think of that? Did we ever think of that?
Putting a mask on those children is robbing them of their education. You are robbing these kids of their developmental rights in terms of education. Are you educators? Don't you know that?
I want to talk about the real pandemic, child sex trafficking. By putting masks on these kids' face, you can't identify any of them.
They don't care about your children. As a matter of fact, they hate them. They hate your kids. They hate my kids. They hate your kids. They hate my kids. Get it? 99.9 live through this flu, especially the kids. And the data proves that too. Science and laws shouldn't be changing so fast. Has Nuremberg taught us nothing of medical tyranny in the past?
As the Holocaust taught it when they would.
They're doing this cadence on purpose. This is going to turn into a song so easy. Nice.
I mean, the cadence is almost as good as you doing an ad read, Keith. I got to give him credit where it's due. It's good cadence.
Do you have anybody in your life like that, Danny? Family, close friends, where you got to be like, well, obviously I can't look at you the same way because you're an idiot.
Yeah, I do. I've got some MAGAs in my family, but no anti-vaxxers. The Cubans are pretty educated, so we dodged the bullet there.
All right. This is what they did in the Holocaust. Hello, people. Like, I'd be more outraged than that if you're really seeing a second Holocaust somehow. I know in the Holocaust, the Jew said, I have an opinion. Can I have the mic? I wrote it down.
What about the mask of the child sex trafficking? It seems like that guy's thinking about child sex trafficking. He's like, the masks,
Right.
I can't even tell them apart. I mean, the authorities can't tell them apart. It's like, what are you talking about?
Right. That line of thinking was,
Where did you go?
it was jagged. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to sneak candy under their masks as their kids. They're going to lose their teeth. The schools then sell their teeth to the Illuminati. Hello, the Rothschilds. Thank you for your time, ma'am. Your time is now ended. Thank you. Thank you.
They hate your kids. They hate my kids. They hate your kids. They hate my kids.
Somebody does a tambourine in the back.
Yeah. They hate your kids. They hate my kids. They hate your kids and they hate my kids. Hey, hate your kids. Everyone hate my kids. Hate your kids and hate my kids. Oh, Keith was looking for instruments. I was trying to go along, but look how excited he is. He's like, I have something that goes with this. It's not picking up, Keith. I'm so sorry.
I was trying to tune my vocals.
Meanwhile, he's got a guitar right behind him. But
well, that's how you know it's not real. All right, big news. Mike Richards, you remember he was the executive producer, spoiler alert, the executive producer of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune started saying, hey, we're going to, have a guest host and who's going to replace the great Alex Trebek. And then afterwards he said, I figured it out and it's going to be me. I'm the best if I ever not do a bad job, which, would be hard to imagine. I promise I will fire myself. And then they said, oh, we heard a sexual harassment suit or two on Wheel of Fortune. We heard an old podcast that you did where it didn't seem egregious, but it wasn't nice. You're using the word midgets for little people. You're calling models boot sluts. You're saying women with one-piece swimsuits are frumpy. Not the most egregious thing in the world, just a stupid frat boy shit. And he said, well, people are upset at that, so I'm going to step down.
okay.
And we're going to do more guest hosts. And they're like,
Okay,
what
just
about LeVar
forever.
Burton we all loved? Like, yeah, but that was also a hit guest host. So, and that was also a trick now that you know. So anyway, we're going to do more guest hosts. He has now been fired from being executive producer of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Why? Do you sound like really good decision-making skills?
What? Do you think there's more? And we just
Yeah, of
think
course.
he said midget. There's got to be something more.
There's more. There's more. Look at the way he's conducting business. It seems up in the air and turning left and right. I can't imagine this is a person that people are trying to do process of work with.
Right. Danny?
The guest host thing, it's like, well, people like a consistent host. I mean, Jeopardy was Trebek. You
Right.
need the same person. You bring on new guests, there's nothing to latch on to, It's like, what is the Battle of 1812? More like, who is this guy?
Hello.
Right. Hello. I'm a priest. I'm a priest.
So I got to tell you, in this case, Mike Richards is the asshole. Danny, would you do us a favor? And from your hit podcast, Am I the Asshole? Would you give us a couple Am I the Asshole segments and we'll dissect it and get to the bottom of it?
Super quick, though, before we dive in, how are you? Anything new? What's your dating life like?
Oh boy, I do have some juice for you. I moved to LA. I don't know if you guys know that.
Well, you mentioned the time zone and how you're in a different time zone
Put it
and how
together.
it's your time and our time and separate time. No, I didn't know that. Why?
I hate winter. I
Yeah.
don't like the winter. Hot take. It's not that interesting. I guess what's most interesting about my dating life is my therapist recommended 3 months of celibacy. And
Because you had a hang up from the last one?
Yeah, I'd just been getting in these very intense relationships post COVID or during COVID. I mean, I had 3 COVID breakups, and she's like, I think sex is a part of why you keep doing this. So maybe stop doing that. And I only lasted a month and a half, but it was with a hookup. So I'm actually not dating now. I'm on no apps, and I'm really not. I'm not having sex now. I'm really not. It's kinda
What are you
crazy.
turning to instead? Like milkshakes and stuff?
Actually, I'm a smoothie guy now. I'm an LA smoothie guy. And you guys
And I fucked the smoothies. And if I don't touch myself, that's fine.
I got a Vitamix, so it's a good texture. No, I didn't really, but I did make this ridiculous purchase. I bought a $600 ice machine.
Okay.
You guys are like,
people
yeah,
like ice. You know what?
I love my ice.
I think that's great. I think it's wonderful when people, and I know that, artists, especially sometimes like you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from. So you might have the 600 and you're like, this is such a stupid decision. I like when people give themselves the permission to do that. It's like, obviously you love ice, so enjoy yourself.
I love it, guys. I'm super boring. I got to admit, my personal life now is boring. I'm happy. So there's not much to report. I'm just like,
you look different.
I'm just been like being creative and running. I'm not even complaining on Yelp anymore. I'm like this like well-adjusted person. It's kind of crazy.
So like women ruin you.
I don't blame the women. I get in trouble for that.
That was a test. Good job.
Yeah, I'm sweating. But otherwise things are good. I bought a hybrid. I have smoothies. I'm an LA guy now.
Wow. So do you think that your therapist is saying that you have somewhat of an addiction to relationships, or you obsess so much about the other person it takes some responsibility off of you?
Yeah, I think I can get very codependent and latch on super quickly. And I get much less creative when I'm in a relationship. I don't think I'm a sex addict. I think I'm more of a love addict. I love falling in love and sending texts all day and just like really intertwining way too fast with someone that I like barely know. So
it is fun. Yeah, it's like
so fun.
While we don't have to talk about bills and how many kids we're having, like it's like stupid shit. It's fun.
It's the best. I mean, it's the best feeling in the world.
But is it tough to find the in-between or where you're supposed to be? Because I'm imagining after a therapy session or two, then I'd ask somebody on a date, you want to go out? Okay, if you don't, it doesn't fucking kill me. But I think you're cool, but not, you're a person. I don't want to put too much on you.
I honestly am trying to just really enjoy myself, and just not feel like I need to have someone around. I mean, I was single briefly when I moved to New York, but I was broke. I actually dabbled in veganism. So I was like broke and lonely and hungry, but now I have a job and like a good life and my shit's together. And so this is like really the first time I've been single where I'm like, all right, let's find out who Danny Vega is. Is he a Yelper? No, I deleted my Yelp and I wanted to tell you guys that.
Oh, wow.
I did. I pulled.
You had elite status.
I was elite
status.
Hundreds of some of the best written complaints gone. Like the Library of Alexandria gone.
Wow. So what else have you learned about yourself? That's huge, right?
I think what's crazy is like now that I've kind of cut all these relationships out of my life, my therapist said, you need more female friends. She goes, how many women friends do you have that you've never been involved with romantically? And I had very, very few. She's like, that's not okay. She's like, you're kind of she didn't say this in a shitty way, but it was basically like, you're kind of effeminate. So I think women would like you. And I was like, yes, I am. That's
an interesting statement to tell someone.
It was a compliment, but yeah, it was kind of like, you're kind of a wimp. Be friends with women. No, but
there's something about that E in effeminate, right?
Effeminate.
To say I'm kind of feminine.
Yeah,
effeminate. I'm like,
effeminate. Oh, this guy. Yeah. So that's been it. That's my little my self-growth journey.
That sounds lovely. Are you having a hard time finding out who the asshole is because you're like in a nicer place?
He changed it to who's the jerk.
Yeah, we're softening now. It's who's the bad guy viewed through one lens, and
what do we know?
And what do we know? But I did bring you guys I brought you guys a couple silly. It's interesting. Of all the times we've talked, I don't actually think we talked too much about fast food. So I brought some fast food situations for you guys.
Oh boy, that's a trigger for Keith.
I have spent time in fast food
and
restaurants.
What?
He'll eat it together with you as he's judging both of you for eating it, which is fair because I'll do that. Like if I ever get fast food, which is very rare, and I always have to say that it's very rare because I'm an asshole.
Yes.
So if I'm eating it, I'm like, guys, I haven't eaten this, and I have to tell you how many years, and I usually don't crave this. Am I getting my period? It's this whole thing.
It's disgusting. It never sits well. I can only eat half a burger from those shit places. Supposedly back in the day, being a big old pig meant you were high society. You can afford to keep eating. It's really the opposite nowadays, of course. The poorest I was the fattest I ever was. You know, I would come home and get one of those burgers. It was daily, if not multiple
What was your
times
poison?
daily. Whatever was right there. If it was McDonald's, it was McDonald's. If Burger King was right there, it was burger. It was whatever was $1. I mean, you can eat pretty cheap. You just, you know, and you're gonna die earlier, so you save even more money. So I understand the appeal. It's just fucking disgusting. But yes, please, Dan.
Here we go. AITA for bringing fast food to my friend's wedding.
Let me hear all sides.
Are you giving a softball? What is this?
Yeah, you're the asshole if you come to a party and you bring McDonald's. It's a wedding and you brought McDonald's.
You're not always the asshole for bringing McDonald's to a party. Sometimes people are having that kind of day where, you know,
what?
Like, oh, who wants nuggets?
Okay, just so you know, Danny, it's weird as fuck. Okay, you're gonna be dating again. Don't do it. But okay, come does, you know, free for all.
A couple weeks ago, my friend got married. Her husband's family is rich, so they had a huge and formal wedding, complete with a stunning 4-course meal. She posted the food menu, and I found out very quickly that I didn't like many of the meals. Her family loves seafood, so she had things like scallop, lobster tail, crab cakes, all seafood. Now, this might sound heavenly to some, but I dislike seafood, and the vegetarian alternatives didn't sound better. So I asked my friend if I could just bring my own food. She said yes. At the dinner reception after the wedding.
Wait. Friend meaning bride or friend that's attending together?
Yes, the bride. The bride, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
She said yes.
Okay.
At the dinner reception after the wedding, I ordered some burgers.
I would think that was a joke. Keith texts me, can I bring McDonald's to your wedding? Of course, Keith. Yes, whatever you want to do, princess. I heard you were a prince or a son of a prince.
Could I jack off in the wedding money bag? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm seeing you there, right? Okay.
At the reception, I ordered some burgers from a popular fast food chain to be delivered. I like how they're not even willing to just admit it's McDonald's. Just say it. We know. Right. Not going to say which one, but there's only a few you can guess. Anywho, as I was eating my food, everyone kept side-eyeing me. I know I looked weird eating a fast food burger while everyone else ate scallops, but I also felt like I was being judged. My friend, the bride, also gave me that weird side eye at some point. After the dinner portion was over, people started to dance and socialize, and one of the bridesmaids told me that it would have been more proper to eat something that didn't draw so much attention. So I guess she was referring to the paper bag and drink I had, since it did kind of stand out. Not a big deal, but I don't know. I guess the comment got me thinking, am I the asshole?
No, we're not. We're not talking about this. No.
Rejected.
No. You're a crazy person. You wrote this.
I don't want people. Yeah, I hate discussing it because I hate that people would even think there's another side to this bullshit. You left the bag on the table like an asshole. The whole thing was a production. Go fuck yourself. You also eat like a fucking baby. You're a weird spoiled piece of shit. Nothing. You couldn't sample anything and expand your mind a little bit in this place. You needed the McDonald's. And I know people like this, and they do eat, chicken fingers and the milkshakes is what they have every single day. You're a child, you're a baby, and you couldn't even be an adult there. They just want things to go smooth. Why would you want to put in something different? You're a fucking weirdo. You're a piece of shit. Is it called that? Am I the piece of shit? You're the asshole. He's the asshole.
And folks, if you're ever invited to your friend's wedding and it's all seafood, we recommend Munk Packs because that's discreet and delicious.
I'm not even kidding.
Eat your burger outside. He said he got multiple burgers, this cow. That means he was probably trying to hand them out to people.
Cow. Yeah. You want them to eat outside? I just feel like discretion is the move here. You know, I feel like they put the bag on the table and they put the 40-ounce drink on the table. I feel like it's okay to sneak a burger.
But also, like, what are you gone for a year? What's happening? You have to, what is happening? You can't just eat right before the wedding. And I don't agree with Keith on the seafood thing.
I like everybody taking
very
pictures.
Disgusting.
I like everybody taking pictures, by the way. And there's your fucking bag on the table.
Right. There's an aesthetic, there's a smell to the food. And if you're not into seafood, that's really it is a line that you can't really cross. So I get it. But normally in weddings, they don't just hand you seafood. There's a salad. There's bread. There's bread. I'm sorry that you have to eat bread for dinner because we don't want your soda in a bag. You're so extra. You're so extra. There's no way of doing it. There's no snack that you can have. Don't have children because if they ever get hungry, what are you going to do? You don't know how to pack anything.
And eat first. You planned it so that at the reception, you would order it fresh Eat first.
You got nothing though for the all seafood people. I mean,
No,
isn't
it
that
wasn't.
a little
That's a lie.
classist?
This guy's
Oh, you
lying.
think that's? I think that is implausible. But let's assume it's true. It is a little crazy to have all
It is.
seafood.
What
are you? Who are you people? Dolphins? It's crazy.
It is crazy. Yes. There's no way that somebody has only seafood. There are sides for this. And, and there's no way that it's just a vegetarian. I don't know. That's weird. So your friends might be assholes too for just making it all seafood and not even considering like how many people have allergies to this. When you hand out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, if you want to eat the seafood, there's rules to that too. But they shared the menu. How long is this wedding? A week? Are they asking you to did you have to bring your own water just in case you can't get to the front line?
I'm not staying in the hotel. I brought my own tent. I need a little Coleman tent.
Who is this person?
And I got the 40 chicken wings or the 40 chicken nuggets meal for whoever wants. I'll just leave it here. I'll put it on the table next to the scallops if anybody wants.
I got honey. Calm down.
Right. I know you heard they're out of packets, but I've been saving them.
It's also most likely illegal in that if somebody has a food license, you can't bring other food into that venue. It's a logistical thing as well. You can't just walk into other people's spaces with whatever you want. You're so weird. How hungry are you? How hungry are you that 2 Munk Packs don't take you through the entire night of your wedding? You're excited that your friend is getting married. Maybe you also eat a piece of bread on the table if you want.
Why don't you wear the same suit that the groom's wearing? Why don't you wear a wedding dress like the bride? Because there's rules. And why are you making it about you? Jag off.
AITA for bringing fast food to my friend's wedding. I think we do agree. This is you're the asshole.
Yes.
All right. Now things are going to get a little bit weird, guys.
Uh-oh.
AITA for being uncomfortable with my GF being naked around her dog. My 33M girlfriend hates clothes. To the
33 meters?
33 male.
Okay.
He's a giant. To the point where she has actively researched nudist colonies. And if it wasn't for having to occasionally go into the office, she would have moved there long before she met me. So she's always naked around the house, which for me, it's hella nice. She's got a rockin' bod. The issue, her 2-year-old dog. Dog's cute and fluffy. It's a great Pyrenees. Very well trained. 10 out of 10, a good girl.
Ew, why are we using this phrasing?
My GF was there when her friend brought the heavily pregnant mom home from the pound, was there at the birth, and fell in love immediately. She sees that dog as the closest thing she'll ever have to a kid due to medical issues. However, my GF is just always naked at home, playing with the dog, naked, cuddling on the couch, naked. She keeps a slip dress by the door for walks, but otherwise, naked. And it's weird, right? I tried to be subtle, but finally the other day I sat down with her and pointed out that yes, she's trained the dog to not sniff human butts, but it's still like something out of an illegal adult movie for her to be naked with an animal all the time. Whoa, she got pissed and asked me to leave. I tried to talk sense into her, but she wasn't listening to it. I finally left her house, and once I got back to my apartment...
I'm sorry. I'd like to hear the sense, by the way. What could the sense be?
Also, why did you decide your side is the sense? I don't know.
Go ahead.
I texted one of her friends. She blew up me saying I was an ass. My GF is now radio silence. Am I the asshole here?
You're the breakup. I mean, why are we together? What is happening? She told you, she's going to do everything naked.
Right.
That includes everything naked. If she was raising a kid, she'd walk around naked with a 10-year-old,
right?
15-year-old. Your girlfriend is GF. What are we calling?
Girlfriend, right?
Yeah. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Either like it or you don't. Did you like it at first? Then it's going to include food and dogs.
Right. I don't understand what the dog is doing. Is it right? Is it licking her crotch? Is it?
You assume if it was taught not to lick the asshole, it's not the crotch. We can give that benefit of the doubt, I think.
But you guys, I mean, wouldn't you be a little uncomfortable with this? I mean, I
the whole
see
thing. Wear clothes. I don't understand.
Wear clothes so that it's sexy when I see you without clothes.
Yeah, it's fun that way to me. But I'm not going to date you.
So you would just be a deal breaker for you right away. You would just be like, I'm out.
I'd explain. I'd rather be surprised by the sexy once in a blue moon. It also hides farts a little bit in our day today.
You think clothes filter farts and they kind of tone down farts? I never had that thought before.
Of course they do.
I don't think you're right.
Of course
Clothes
they do.
are fart
This is
air
silly.
filters.
This is silly. This is what we're arguing about now. If I fart in one room, is it different than I fart in your face? Okay. Is it different if there's cloths between my fart and your face?
Okay. All right.
I'd prefer
This
it.
is
Like
the science
picturing
we have
your
to.
bare butt aimed at me than picturing it with clothes. I'd much prefer it with clothes.
Yes. So clothes always will change a fart. What is this?
Clothes always will change a fart. I want that on my headstone. That's beautiful.
I say memorial crystals.
I think it's interesting because I don't really know any nudists, but like I guess it's a comfort thing, right? It's not really a values thing. It's not like nudity is the most beautiful day. It's just like I like to feel the air.
Oh, I think it could be both, and I could think it could be anything. And I agree that you should be naked if that's how you feel. I like wearing clothes, and I don't think it would be a deal breaker. Like if my partner wanted to walk around the house naked all the time, I just don't know how we would land together.
I would announce it early. I'd announce it early on a date, like a sexual disease.
I'm a nudist. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm a nudist. You're good. When you see me, I'll be naked. Always. You cool with that?
I'm curious how you guys feel about, running into like a deal breaker like that, right? Because I guess one thing I'm learning is like, if you have an issue with someone, whatever it may be, they smoke too much pot, they're a nudist, they call themselves Prince, you gotta take it, right? Like if you start dating them, you're sort of saying like, all right, that's who you are. I can't change you. So that has to just fly now in your relationship.
Yeah, because also somebody else will like it, so that's a blessing to them. But yes, you can't change them because it's not going to be pure. They'll resent you. Blah blah blah.
I don't know that you have to like it forever because you have no control over that. But if you respected it and it didn't matter to you up front, the buildup of resentment means that there's something that you didn't deal with early on. So if you're faking, like if it is weird that this person was focused on, I like that they're naked because, that's a sexual turn on. But like, that means that eating is going to be naked. Is that still a turn on? That doing the dishes, cooking. Also, like, to me, your butt shouldn't be directly on my couch all the time, on the chair all the time. I do think that buffer is good, but you signed on probably because you just wanted to fuck for a while. And now that the fucking has turned into a regular relationship, this is regular. She's fine to be upset. I don't know if there's anything to be hysterical about, but if somebody told me to stop smoking weed, but I'm smoking weed all this time, they would have to come up with a really good reason.
Yeah. By the way, I want to see those people's couches.
Right.
It adds up. Butt sweat, little butt sweat here, a little butt sweat there. A bareback fart like that. That's going to stay in the couch.
Told you. You know what this would stop that? Clothes. But whatever. We already covered that.
Right. No, you're right. There needs to be a buffer between your farts and the couch.
which are classically speaking clothes, but you could be a guy who wears bags or something, but that would help as well.
Actually, that's not sanitary. Okay.
No, look at your underwear, women. That stuff collects. Come on.
Guys too,
but we're talking about a woman, and they have more things, by the way, down there.
So it's not the discomfort per se, which I think we all kind of agree with. It's how he told her what he told her that makes him the asshole.
Well, how did he tell her? With reason? He didn't really say.
Like you said, he made this implication that it was like an adult film, so she's implying that
Yeah, real smart. Yeah, that you're fucking the dog. Yeah, right. That's brilliant. Right. You fucking moron. Who's the asshole / moron? I'm going to say this guy.
We can do that.
Okay. Well, good job, men. 2 for 2, you fucking idiots.
I didn't know you were going to turn on your people here.
You don't have a choice. It's smacking you in the face.
This one's really stupid, guys. That was supposed to be the serious one. This is the dumbest one of them all.
Okay.
AITA for throwing out my roommate's McChickens without telling him first. My roommate.
How long has it been? A year? If it's a year, then it's okay.
My roommate loves the McChicken, but he also loves saving money. For years, a McChicken was only $1 nationwide, and he would eat 10 to 15 of these sandwiches a day. Our whole apartment smelled like McChicken. Well, a year ago, McDonald's started.
What is this, a wedding? Why are we?
Right. A year ago, McDonald's started increasing the price of McChickens to $1.59 instead of $1, a 60% increase. My roommate freaked out and started.
Did he add that it's a 60% increase? Did he do the math for us?
Thank you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Helpful. My roommate freaked out at this and started buying McChickens by the truckload. Our fridge had as many as 100 McChickens in it at a time.
Holy shit.
He wanted to
first of all, I'm sorry. First of all, and just in case no one's thinking about this, but I know it's pretty obvious. That shit is, I hate to use the word good, but that shit is only good for 10 seconds. You don't, it doesn't matter if you don't put it in the fridge, then back in the, but it doesn't, that's important. If you think you like those, it is not the same product in any way out of a fridge, wrapped in the paper towel and put in the microwave, whatever his plan is. It's horrid.
It's a short shelf life for sure. Yeah. As soon as that's why you only eat half your burger, because it gets cold by the time you're done with half. You got to throw out the rest. It's done. It's over.
Right.
Anyway, he filled the fridge. Okay.
He wanted to buy,
people have their own corners of the fridge when you have roommates, but
he wanted to buy as many as he could before McDonald's increased the price. So things got out of hand because then he bought a meat freezer, collected 700 McChickens, and bought a toaster oven to heat them back up. I was pissed. Everything smelled like McChicken. The electricity probably cost us more than the damn increase on the McChickens. I lost my mind. I unplugged the meat freezer when he left and let them rot. When he came back, they were moldy.
How long had it been since he came back?
Like a few days. They were ruined when he came back. And on top of that, the McDonald's now increased the McChicken to $1.59. I feel kind of bad. I'm so sick of McChickens. And then the roommate's so mad for ruining his McChickens. And he claims it's an investment of $700. He claims I now owe him $1,000 because that's how much his investment increased in value. AITA for ruining the McChickens.
You do owe him $1,000. You should have stopped it at the fridge. You should have stopped it at like the full refrigerator. Where do you guys see each other for days at a time? What is happening? How did all of this happen? And also, you said it yourself. You lost your shit and you unplugged the fridge. How is that helping anything? It's not yours. If you want to discuss where else to put it, that's a different thing. But you don't unplug like an asshole.
I don't think he's an asshole. I do think he owes $1,000.
I think he owes him money.
I genuinely am jealous of the guy who loves something this much.
That's the takeaway.
No, they taught you not to, Danny. They're telling you not to love something that much.
I know.
Imagine that was crazy sweet.
Something that costs $1, though. I love a McChicken. I'm with you. I mean, they're great. They're spicy but you got 5 seconds and it's just trash. It's awful.
Yeah, you got to figure out something. So it's two guys that are roommates, and the one guy keeps telling you about this chicken problem. It's going to blow up to a fist fight if somehow you don't figure out this problem.
Yeah,
I know guys living together as roommates. You got to figure something out. You can't start buying. He doesn't like it, so you bought a giant extra fridge freezer. This of course there's going to be trouble, and then that's stupid. So maybe one guy's the asshole, one guy's the stupid.
Yeah, but we don't know that this other guy has been whichever guy. We don't know that one is telling the other person, "Hey, it smells the house up. Hey, you filled up the fridge. I'm not comfortable with this. Hey, why don't we divide up the fridge and you can have as many McChickens here?" We don't know if he asked. Hey, we have a basement because we're not picturing. We're picturing like not New York City, right? We have a basement. I'd like to put a freezer in there, and then you don't get to care what gets put in there. But we never heard the guy say, "I've been telling him over and over again, this smells. I'm uncomfortable with it." It sounds like he let it fester and it's like, "Oh, well, how could it get worse?" And then it got worse. Well, how could it get worse from here? Then it got worse. And then he just blew up and lost his shit. And also, how did they rot so quickly? That's proof you shouldn't have all those.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think if OP, the guy who posted this, didn't really say anything, I mean, I think it should be common sense. You can't fill your entire fridge with McChickens. That's disrespectful.
Yes.
It's interesting, but it's really rude.
I can't imagine. And I don't want to add too much to, what we don't know. But two guys, I'm not saying they would have been clear about their feelings, but I can't imagine one guy would not say, "I hate your fucking chicken." You think so?
Yeah.
I think it would have been more like roasty. Like, "What's with the McChickens, bro?" Right. "Oh, I just really like them." "Oh, well, they kind of smell weird." But it wouldn't be really direct. Like,
okay,
you got to respect my space, man.
Right. Yeah. I There's a lot of people who think that they're saying things to other people just by reacting to it. Like Danny was saying,
I love that.
That's a lot.
Spot on. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not saying anything. Oh boy, this guy. Also, they're both going about it wrong. You have a fridge and a freezer full of things that are wrapped in McDonald's. Like that is the greatest commercial. You take a picture, you tweet that out to McDonald's, and they'll give you the coupons for unlimited whatever the fuck.
Right.
Like, how are we doing
Free
this?
for life.
Your TikTok should be McDonald's only or whatever. It is McDonald's, right? Yeah. That's your TikTok page. You're now rich and you can buy the $159.
We get to pick that they're both assholes, right?
Yeah, that's called Everyone Sucks Here.
That's my vote.
I'm with it.
I'm with it.
If that house burned down, it wouldn't change my day.
I do think the guy that unplugged is more. Nope. Everybody, nope. Because Danny's right. You know not to fill the fridge with only your shit.
Chickens. That's cruel.
Yeah,
that's cruel.
I bet it's the same fucking wedding guy.
Yeah,
look that up later.
There's people who think I'm every OP, so it's a real problem. I'm gonna get murdered one day.
The world's a better place. He's been posting 7,000 times.
Yeah, this guy's cheating. He's doing a lot of stuff.
How do people download the podcast? Am I the asshole? You just look it up and you download it. It's free, right?
Spotify, iTunes, AITApod.com's got all our links for you.
Because everybody should ask, am I the asshole at some point?
Right.
That's your commercial. Because everyone should ask, am I the asshole at some point?
All right, let's go over what we covered, see what we learned over here. This Saturday, of course, we're doing a premiere of Silent Trailers game show. Chris Mancini and other people, you know that. Okay, what else?
Danny Vega.
And Danny Vega's gonna be there. Lori Kilmartin, Dave Hill, Meg Wilkerson. What else? Let's see. I'm Your Highness, thanks to my parents being a prince and a princess. I just found out about the prince news today, and that's very exciting news. And I'm going to tell Kyle to treat me as such. All right. Again, Your Highness Keith will do just fine if you're my pal. Let's see what else. My brother's a doctor, but he's not smart enough to figure out my dad. Let's see over here. Everybody from my high school is a fucking idiot. And I remember there's a time I would have died to marry Crystal or Tiffany. And thank fucking God Christ.
They blew it.
Yeah, oh, my Lord. The best, I should send them thank yous for not giving me the time of day. The vaccine, people think they'd rather have COVID than the vaccine. Then they get COVID and then they realize they were vaguely mistaken. This world is full of idiots. If you're thinking about the child grabbing children, oh my God, what a fucking planet. Mike Richards, big dope. If he didn't try to play some tricky game about trying to be the leader of Jeopardy, he wouldn't be fired, and now he's homeless. What else? We learned, don't bring fast food to a wedding. You'll be an asshole.
We learned that Danny is in a better place.
Yes. Danny has learned that not to care for people too much. So that'll be fun to start dating, ladies. We also learned, put some clothes on sometimes. You don't want to be a fucking gas station back there. And and we learned that if this house of the two roommates filled with 6,000 chicken sandwiches burned down, Keith would not lose an ounce of sleep. And that's the day.
I love this. It's a good little summary. I feel like I learned a lot.
We had a good time.
It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Follow Danny Vega online. You know that, right? What's the Twitter account? Holy Duck.
I'm not posting on Twitter anymore. I cut Twitter out. I cut Instagram out. I'm posting on TikTok only. Danny Vega comedy on TikTok. Keith, you on TikTok? Your Highness Keith, excuse me.
Thank you. I wasn't, but do they accept royalty?
I don't know. You might have to. You're too prestigious for the talk.
Yes, I mean you have to carry yourself a certain way once you realize the enormity. Like King Ralph, he changed the way he ate and talked. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon. That's it.